Everyday Superpower, where we talk body language, relationships, game, everything in between. I was watching a video about a week or so back. It was an interview with a British guy who moved to Wall Street. He was, some investor of sorts, some parallel of a banker to some degree. I don't know, but he was putting you on game. He says he had the person doing the interview put money on a table. It was only a £20 note, right? But he said, look at that £20 note. What feelings do you attach to that £20 note? Imagine if you just lost it out of your pocket. How would you feel? And even though these two had money, it was good to put into perspective the fact that they had a fine detail to the numerics, regardless if it's £20 or 200 or 200,000. That's the reason they became affluent, because they paid attention to the fine detail and they understand the building blocks of creating numerics. So there's what feelings and emotions do you attach to that? And the guy who was doing the recording, who had been proposed this question, says, I'm paraphrasing here, but he applied his own meaning and sense and said, you know what, if I lost it, I'd be a bit bothered, I'd be a bit upset. You know what, it wouldn't be great, it'd annoy me a little bit, blah, 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 blah. And the guy, the investment banker, he says, now, what do you think that money feels towards you? Obviously nothing. Obviously there's a void of emotion and connection coming from that side of the relationship. And then he goes on to say, why are you giving emotion to something that does not give it back? Let me read what I've written in regards to this. He states, don't cry over what wouldn't cry for you. Isn't that fantastic? Isn't it self-explanatory, yet we don't acknowledge the fact we should behave in such manner? Don't cry over what wouldn't cry for you. And of course I'm speaking in regards to the feelings you attach to money and the lack of feeling that the money reciprocates, but this should be reapplied to friends and family and business and to corporate entities and to any sort of loss of sleep you are experiencing over something that should be irrelevant. Why are you valuing something that does not value you in return? Remove the emotional connotation and you can see clearly and logical, and apply this tool in the right manner to create your future. You go for a job interview and they say, nah, we don't want you. And you take it to heart and you get upset. Why are you giving that energizing energy to a situation and a circumstance and to a company that didn't care for you? What you give attention to garners power. It garners a more powerful frequency, and when you disdain that as to which you can't get, that you can't receive, that you can't be in ownership of, you have to learn to cut it off ASAP and refocus on the road ahead that will lead to value. You must congratulate yourself for moving past the obstacle, having a result. I know somebody who was upset. She's chasing success within her field, and as a freelancer she's reaching out to a lot of people, and someone got back to her and said no. Didn't say sorry, didn't say nothing, just said no. And she was upset of the bluntness and the response she got because she took it to heart. And the reality of such is, he is a good person for giving her a concise and clear answer. Should he have led her on for weeks on end, months on end? Should he have pretended? No. He gave her a concise and clear answer and a resolution to their communication. Now, she shouldn't have felt or given any emotion to a situation that didn't care for her. You see? And that's what you need to do. Just take a moment to think. Oh, that girl doesn't like me back. Okay, well, how about you empower yourself by thinking, if that's the case, I shouldn't be here worried about that. I shouldn't bow down and submit to that which doesn't meet me in the same regard. Kings and queens, royalists. Oh, I love the kings and the queens. Oh, I love them so much. They don't even acknowledge your existence. Why are you giving energy you could give to someone who loves you back, who might love you back, give them that concentrated attention? Why are you taking that vital energy and projecting it towards beings that don't even acknowledge you, that don't reciprocate it? Understand it, see it, be fascinated by it, but don't connect an emotional tie to that which doesn't offer the same sacrifice in response. Through that comes intelligence and recognition of the pattern, so you can reapply that and see where it manifests in other spaces. It's not that you have to ignore it completely and, create a scarcity of understanding. You just needn't apply any degree of emotional connection to that which does not serve you in response, because you're placing yourself in a very easily manipulative circumstance, given somebody wants to use that as a lever towards you. So, back on topic, in regards to the money he placed on the table and says, how would you feel about blah de blah? What do you connect, emotionally? What emotions do you connect with this monetary value, this £20 note on the table? He uses this to say, and I'm not going to quote him because I don't know, I can't remember the quote, but he tells the man behind the camera a definition, or his own personal definition, of what that money is used to do. This is but a commodity that is used to exchange blah de blah de blah. He took it in a literal sense. He knew its purpose. He knew how to utilize it as a tool. He wasn't looking at it through the lens of, happiness or sadness or need. He just knew what its purpose was. He knew how to utilize it, and through experience, he utilized it in an effective and efficient manner for himself, and he created an abundance of it, which most people would love to do, but most people are too busy about their perception of it. If anything, when you renounce its power in your life, and you understand that to whichever degree it is a necessity, but you think whether it comes or goes, as long as I'm happy and healthy and understanding and moving forwards, that's way more important. This is but a mere piece of paper. Why am I attaching so much, Obviously, it's because you've been brought up in a system that has taught you to attach these feelings towards it, so they can manipulate you and utilize, this tool, this lever in their own benefit, to make you go to work for them and make you, fear of losing your house and pay your bills, and they utilize this emotional connection against you. remove that from the situation. And not only will you be more understanding and free because you logically will be utilizing the money in a more efficient and beneficial way for yourself, but you'll have, a clearer conscious to redirect that energy to stuff that matters. What you give attention to grows, so pay attention. That's some game. Click like and subscribe. I'm signing out. One love.